Hi Aries, and thank you for joining me and welcome to this reading for love for 2018. I'm super excited to be here with you guys, and I have these beautiful cards called the Angle Tarot. This is an out of print deck and it's higher arcana only. We're going to do the twin flame soulmate reading, the heart that you guys love. It's the most requested reading. I'm excited to do it for you guys. So let's just take a look. If you want more 2018 readings, they're linked down below. And also I did a Vimeo reading through which you can support me and the channel by renting the individual videos. I filmed 12 videos for each of the houses of the zodiac and posted them on Vimeo. And so if you guys want to rent the series or rent an individual video to see what each part of your life is going to be like in 2018, then you can do that in the About section. Okay, so let's get to the reading. This is Sun, Moon, and Rising Aries. You have a lot going on in your 10th house of career this year, and there's a lot to do with sexuality in terms of relationships. Also, the North Node is in your 5th house of romance. So overall, you do have a romantic year ahead of you. This spread is good for you if you have a partner or if you're single. It takes the point of view that if you are single, the side of the heart that's over here represents your future partner or where you are going in terms of relationships. At the center of the reading, Aries, you have the Hermit. This is the card of Virgo. So you and your partner start in a solitary place. Whether you know them or not, there's a separation between the two of you. Maybe each of you finds the need to, in some way, identify your own find your own thing about things. You're trying to figure out what your position is about things, what you mean to create in your life and where you want to take things. If you guys can see here, there's a little spider that's crawling across the table and I'm afraid of spiders, but I was brave and I'm going to keep going. But yeah, so we have the Hermit card. That's why I got shocked, like, oh, Verushin, a spider. Hi, guy. That's a good omen, right? He's bringing you some good luck. Hey, guy, how's it going? He's like looking at me like, what are you doing? Okay, I'm reading for Aries, guy. You want to come and hang out? Spiders and cats, right? So we have the Hermit at the center. This is where your relationship begins. And so there is a bit of like a need to identify what's important for you at this time. And so really isolate and figure out what is a value to you and where you're going to place your time and energy. And I think it's like a review process in which you are figuring out what is most important, where each of you wants to apply your life in order to get the outcomes that you want in life in general. The next card, these two cards represent what your ideal vision for the relationship is. So this represents your ideals, where you want to take the relationship, etc. So we have the High Priestess here. So you want transcendent knowledge. You want like an ethereal experience with your partner. You want kind of like a clarity of vision and understanding about life in general. I think that you're looking to the relationship in like a heightened way. You want to see the world for what it is. You want to see the world for what it is. You want to see the hidden meaning behind it all. And I think that through your relationship, you want your relationship to foster that. So that's such things as really taking care of yourself, eating well so you have like perfect clarity of vision, really identifying within yourself any kind of toxicity that prevents you from seeing the world as it is. So this is the High Priestess, and I think that that's what you're seeking in the relationship, someone with whom you can share in the goal of finding attunement, right? Attunement to the world. The next message is the Tower. So I think Aries, you are looking for a total change and transformation, maybe leaving behind relationships that have completely failed you in the past. Maybe you realize that past relationships were only superficial, that they were like quick fixes, that they didn't actually find some long-term catharsis or some long-term meaning about what life is. And so I think that you're really seeking some kind of, you're transcendent experience that's going to allow you to purge yourself of past experiences so that you can lead a richer life moving forward. And I feel as though that's like your spirit quest, because the hermit to me is like, and it looks as though, you know, the high priestess is you and the hermit is like offering, you know, themselves to you. And the high priestess has knowledge of the universe. It's like intuitive knowledge, right? This transcendent universal knowledge. Whereas the hermit is like practical knowledge. It's like street smarts. The hermit is like the ultimate OG, you know? This is someone who has a lot of life experience. They've seen it all. They're like the shaman. They're like the one who has lived their life, and everything that they speak to is something that they've perceived, right? So this is like, so it's like the meeting of the minds. So maybe that's what you're seeking, is like, you know, just to break through the wall, through the limitation of life, and have this kind of really honest and true experience with another person. The next message is for your partner. So your partner is looking for the Lovers. So this is the card of Gemini. Also the card of family. So your partner really wants, you know, partnership, love, commitment, trust. I think that they want, you know, the twins flame soulmate experience. I think they're longing for family. They're longing for a deep connection with another person. I think that they're probably struggling a lot right now through this hermit phase of their life, because they are meant to, they're looking at things as though they need something, and they're getting the opposite. And I think that they feel like a lot of eagerness to try to solve the predicament that they are in. I think that they're really concerned by the predicament that they're in that they're all alone, and they want that whole familial family kind of group thing, you know, partnership and connection with another person. They don't want to be alone, and yet they are alone. And so it's interesting, because I feel like for you, I feel like you can be on your own. I feel like in 2018 you're like, I want to be alone, because if it's not the right person, then I want that. I want that purity. You're seeking purity, and you're seeking clarity in your life. So it's like things like you don't want to eat too much sugar because that's an intake of like a stimuli, or you don't want to drink alcohol because that clouds your judgment. You want to like live super clean so that you're like at your optimum in terms of your responsiveness and perception of the universe. That's what you're about in 2018. Whereas your partner is like their focus is on finding someone, or finding you essentially, and finding that love relationship, and having that family, that grouping, that togetherness, the camaraderie. That's what they want with one other person. It's not a community. The high priest would be more community. This is like the one-on-one. The next message is the Fool. So your partner, I think that your partner is going to get a little bit antsy. They're going to get a little bit like, oh, I gotta do this and that. They might feel as though they have, you know, a lot of things to try to achieve, and so they're going to get anxious, and they're going to try to achieve things, and you're going to push forward to achieve things more and more. They're going to push forward to achieve things more and more, and I think that they might start getting a little bit like quick to do anything just to get anything done, which is problematic, because you're very stoic this year. You're very like Zen, you know, like I don't need to do anything because the present is a gift, and it's right now, and the past is a history, and you know, the future is a mystery, and I don't really have to worry about anything because I'm so centered. You're like super grounded, super centered. You're happy, like you're in the zone. Whereas your partner is like the opposite. They're like, where's my twin flame? Where's my soulmate? Where's my true love? I want to go and find this person. I want to go and find this person. Where are they? They're getting nervous, you know. And if you know them, then they're putting that pressure on you within the relationship. If you don't know them, you can kind of, as your soulmate, as your twin flame, you can feel them. You can feel them being that way, and you're like, whoa, you know, stop ruining my chill, you know, like I'm really good right now. So yeah, you're kind of, that's okay. I mean, we still got long way to go to figure out where this is going. The next two cards represent like this next stage. So this was like where you guys started together or individually, and this second part is where you are hoping to go, your ideals. This is where your mind is at this year. So the next two cards represent like the next step. So this is step 1, this is step 2, and then the outcome is step 3. So let's take a look at your step 2. So your step 2 is the star. You're in perfect alignment, Aries. I mean, it's really showing that. Perfect alignment, you're like, okay, I'm just going to do me. Life's taking me exactly where I need to go. When I need to be with that person, I'll be there with them. If it's your partner, then you're just confident that that's the person. You're just in the moment of your destiny. You feel as though you're perfectly aligned. You have the confidence of alignment, and you know where you are going or where you want to take things. The next message is for your partner. See, your partner's looking everywhere for other people. Your partner's on a quest, and we kind of say, oh, like, you know, accept the fact that you don't have someone around you, or if you're feeling lonely, you should just be. This is one of the biggest condolences that people tell each other. It's like, if you don't have someone or something, just like get used to being on your own, you know, like those kinds of advice, which is great. But we go through things as humans. We're social beings. We want connections with other people, and I feel like your partner's really on a some kind of agenda to get to where they're going. They really want to get to where they're going. They want to achieve what they're going to achieve. And where they're trying to go is community with other people. That's the Hierophant. They're looking to get married. They're looking to settle down. They're pushing forward. The problem with this, the only problem that I see with this, is that if they're not in your life, and if they're too anxious, I'm worried that they're going to settle down with the wrong person. You're fine. You're just like, you do you. You can't control another person's actions, especially if you don't know them. You can't influence and say, hey, I'm here too. You know, I'm your twin flame. I'm your soulmate. The problem is, what if they're far away and they're freaking out that they're not going to get married, you know, and now they feel all this pressure in 2018, and they start like just getting really anxious and making haphazard choices. That's the only downfall of what I see in here. I think that your partner, if you're in a relationship, is putting a lot of pressure on you, and you're just like, yo, like, I get the fact that you want to. I get the fact that you want marriage. I get the fact that you want harmony with other people. But what I see is you are pressing me for something, and I feel perfect in this space right now. So it's like, I think both sides, I would advise, we'll see the advice coming through the spiritual guidance, but what I see in terms of advice here is both sides need to really take a page from each other's book. So your partner needs to chill out. It's true. They need to sit down and just relax, while you need to be like, I get it. I get you're the star, the high priestess, you know, bring on the tower. I don't give a, you know, I'm going to just do me. I get that about you. I get the fact that you're perfectly aligned, and you're just like, everything is inconsequential to your alignment because you feel so empowered by it. But you are dealing with your twin flame and soulmate, and they're a person with feelings, emotions, and they have needs, and right now they need that connection. So you guys need to find a compromise somewhere in the middle, yeah? So here are two pieces of spiritual advice. I know it sounds like advice, but it's actually more like spiritual guidance about where things are going and what to expect and how to approach it. So let's take a look here. This is advice for you. This is advice for your partner. If you don't know your partner, this is going to help you understand what they need to do in order to get things moving, you know, your dharma moving along. So here is the next message. So we have the Strength card. Okay, so this is you need to stay confident, maybe work out a little bit, Aries, you know, kind of be within yourself, enjoy life, enjoy the fruits of your labor, enjoy the outcome of the efforts that you have put into life. The second card is, so this is the Wheel of Fortune. So I feel as though you need to embrace the fortune that comes to you and see the opportunities that come through with, I know I can't believe it's Medusa here, but it's kind of fitting. She went through such cycles of fortune. Now, I typically read the Wheel of Fortune as only a positive card, but Medusa had obviously bad experiences as well. But she's a part of a greater path of destiny, including, you know, like being a shield and rescuing Andromeda and like all these different stories that happened after her beheading. But yeah, but very tragic figure, but also one that is like a key part of history or mythological history. And so we have the Strength card and this Wheel of Fortune, and I feel as though you're being told to embrace life. I think that you're meant to embrace life and embrace life on your terms. So you need to really focus on, this is the time for you to pick the fruits of your labor, pick what you've been putting effort into your life to grow, to expand, and draw upon that. This is a reward energy. So, I mean, don't give up your rewards, because that's a lack of gratitude, and you need to really be appreciative of that energy. Appreciate, you know, the blessing that you have from that. So this is advice for your partner. So they have the moon, okay? So they need to take some time to look at their shadow side. They need to see why they're essentially in such a need for another person. Like, I understand we're social beings, we all need other people, but I feel like it's almost like they are, you know, not facing something, and that's why they need another body there, because they have something that they're working through, and they need to take a look at the entirety of their being. I think that they do a lot of introspection, and I think that they have a lot of experience already, but I feel like this moon here represents that they are not looking at like maybe the dark side of their personality, or the shadow side as it's called. So maybe there is like an aspect to this, an aspect that has to do with them having to do an introspective journey, you know, some kind of journeying, I don't know, whatever kind of practice that they do, whatever they want to do, but they want to go within themselves and really solicit an answer for where all this social anxiety is coming from. Here is the next message of advice. So this is the card of integration. It's the Sagittarian Temperance card. I think it's a really good card to get, because I think that they're going to draw out certain conclusions this year about their social life, about why they want relationships, why they don't want relationships, how they build relationships. And I think that from that point on, they are going to be informed, and they're going to create like a hybrid answer. So this is the consolidation. I think essentially, Aries, you're called upon to wait for that passion, and everything is coming to you, but they have to figure it out. Your outcome card together, you guys have the Sun. So that was your reading for January 2018. That was the outcome card. So, you know, it's going to be worth it in the end. There's a great fulfillment, a joy, and ecstasy. The Sun, beautiful outcome. I mean, just happiness. They need to get their act together. You need to wait for them to do that, and enjoy your life, prepare your life to be as robust and abundant for when they come around, and then you'll make the connection, and that catalyst starts to blast off, and you guys just spark off in new directions, and it's just amazing and rah, right? Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys are doing great, and I will talk with you guys soon. This is your reading for 2018 for love and twin flame soulmates, but there is astrology readings in the about section below. I also did that Vimeo reading for the whole year, going through your houses and clarifying each area of your life, including partnerships and romance. So there'll be more there. You guys can rent that on Vimeo to support me in the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will talk with you soon. Take care. Bye, Aries. Hey guys, thanks for joining me, and welcome to this reading for Jupiter in Sagittarius. Hey girl, hey. Today we have a big show for you guys, because we're going to take a look at not only your general overview for this transit, which lasts 13 months from November 2018 to December 2019, but also the love forecast and astrology as well. So you'll get a little taste test of everything. So I'm stoked to do this for you guys. And yeah, I don't know what sign I'm reading for, you guys know, but make sure to comment and like. And you know you're my favorite. Hey girl, hey. Okay, so let's, and I do have I do have a surprise at the end to show you, so stick around for the end, okay? So here is your first card from the Syrian Starseed. We have the Sage of Orbs. So there's been a very clear and decisive division. You've taken a step, you've cut something out. Then we have the Six of Orbs. I feel like this is the Six of Swords. You're driving away and you're not looking in that rearview mirror at all. And the Chariot, which is the card of Cancer. So you're leaving behind a situation like there was never before, and I feel like you have been convinced or won over by the idea that you have to move on, and when you do, you feel a sense of success for having done so, for having gone in this direction. Okay, the sign we are reading for is Aries. So this is the Emperor card, which rules the sign of Aries. I just got tired of my other cards, and we can do this with regular tarot as well. So let me bring up your chart, Aries, and then I will explain to you what's good. You may be dealing with a Cancer as well, which is a really good energy, and you're in some way learning the truth about a situation, and now that you're gaining some distance from it, you're really feeling the truth. Like you can see it much clearer than while you were involved. I think Aries are very trusting, loving energy, and so sometimes when you're really close in a situation, it's hard for you to tell exactly what's what and who's who. Although you're good at discerning things, I do think that you give people the benefit of the doubt and try to see the silver lining with things, see the positive side of things, all that. Okay? Jupiter is in your 9th house of ideas. It's also the higher education house and long distance travel. So the Chariot often represents an opportunity to travel, as does the Six of Swords. So this year, over the next year, I've already told you guys this in your year preview, there is like a big chance in which you can travel, in which you can see the world, and I think that that will be a corollary of letting something or someone go, specifically an air sign, a Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra. Or this is the person who helped you break away and break free in a new direction. Here is the next message, and we have the Alchemy card, which is the card of Temperance. And then there is the Tower card. Boom. It's been coming up for people in the Seven of Cups, which is Venus and Scorpio here. So 2 water outcomes. It's going to be an emotional outcome of a year for you. I feel like maybe you have been trying to manage a situation for quite some time and draw out of it some positive conclusions. And I feel as you let go, you'll see how drastically things really fall apart. They will drastically pull themselves away. It's almost like when you let go, everything just crumbles because there was not much holding it together. Even though I think you were convinced that it was being held together quite strongly, it wasn't, in fact. And now that you are gaining some distance, getting that room to breathe, you're really seeing things for what they are. And maybe physical distance will be a part of this. When you kind of put yourself far away from a situation and look at it from the distance, you will see what it was all about and why. I think it was drawing on your heartstrings a bit, and when it was doing that, that was making it hard for you to really make a sound judgment. But I feel like you're overcoming and really hopeful about things again. I feel like you at some point never felt that you could be hopeful. The 9th house is the house of ideas as well. So here with the Chariot and the Seven of Cups as your outcome cards, I think new hope is coming up for you and new directions to feel excited about are coming up for you. Okay, so now we're going to do the relationship part of the reading. Sometimes they kind of overlap, whatever the dominant message is with the Syrian Starseed. But I'm using the Art of Love Tarot, and we're going to pick some cards to clarify what we have already down on the chart. This card really wanted to come out, so let's just honor it. So we have the King of Trees, the Architect, a Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn. Maybe this is the person in question with whom you've faced a separation or divorce, or maybe this is a part of, kind of some person set up a situation for it to develop like this. Some person set up the situation for things to be this way. There was not much room to negotiate or go in a different direction. But I feel like it was the sound decision, and in order to see the way forward, you had to make certain decisions and you had to pick sides. And so as you chose sides, I feel like the consequences of that were that certain relationships fell apart, certain relationships ended. Jupiter was in your 8th house, so that was probably a facet of that. The next message is the Eight of Angels, confusion. So moving on means trying to find an answer that is suitable. And Eight of Swords is not really being able, or not really knowing how to address a situation, how to fully respond to a situation, how to interact with it. And then we have the Chariot card, which is the Queen of Stars, a Sag, Leo, or Aries, Sun, Moon, or Rising. I feel like maybe you will find new love that comes up for you, or maybe new passion within your own heart that you feel about yourself. And from that point, you can be authentically happy again, authentically proud of who you are, and excited about your future. I feel like there is perspective that is being given to a situation that helps to find reason amid everything. So you don't feel like you're lying to yourself. You found a justification, a reason for why things happened the way they happened, and so therefore you can kind of move on and transform. The next card is the Temperance card, the King of Stars, which is a Sag, Leo, or Aries, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Now this could be you, or this could be either of these cards could be you. Don't worry about the gender. But this can also be a person who's around you, who is helping you mediate the feelings that you have been going through. This could be a friend. This could be a family member. It could be somebody who in some way helps to, they were probably helping you make sense of the relationship while it was going, and now that it's over, they're helping you release and move away from the situation. The Tower card is the Four of Trees, Four of Pentacles, growth. And so I feel as though through this whole process, you have a predisposition to, in some way, hold back. You have a predisposition to kind of shelter yourself and hide whatever you have left going over. There will be a period in which you don't necessarily want to interact with circumstances and situations, and this is very well, could possibly be the time when you actually take your journey or go in a certain direction. I feel like the Eight of Angels, the Eight of Swords, and the Four of Trees, the Four of Pentacles, are sort of happening at the same time. So when you reach the impasse, So when you reach the impasse, when you can no longer go in the direction you were going, you may feel like you want to distance yourself from everything that you know and go a different direction. And also, in order to find a solution, you want to separate yourself so you can really think about what's going on. Okay? The next card is the Five of Trees, which is the Seven of Cups. You may kind of forge ahead and be excited about the prospects of where you're going. It's going to take time for you to be able to settle into exactly where you want to anchor your energy now. And I feel like you will have so many options that at times you're going to feel very overwhelmed by this energy. Just trust that in time, probably over a year, you'll identify the things that are best for you. It's going to be another process of selection. So just understand you're not doing anything wrong. Nothing's off in your life. Nothing is not working incorrectly. I just think that maybe for a time you will have, you'll set out your nets and you'll bring in a lot of different options and opportunities, and you'll once again have to discern which one's the right one. But I think you've learned some lessons, some life lessons, and so now you will be more selective and discerning exactly which options are right for you. So if you guys are ready, make sure to like and comment now, and I have a little surprise for you guys. You may have watched some of the other videos, but if you're one of my OGs, then you will remember these. These are my little sparkler sticks. And because Jupiter is moving into Sagittarius, it's a very spiritual transit. Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius, and it's in a fire sign, so it's a very potent transit. For you in the ninth house, it's so full of blessings, and whatever relationship dynamic you're sorting out here, I would not be too worried about it at all. In fact, I would be more keeping an open eye for other opportunities and possibilities coming into your life while Jupiter is in Sagittarius between November and December 2019. But in the meantime, you can change your fortune, and especially with Jupiter moving into Sag, this is a wonderful time to make a wish. So make sure to make a wish, and I hope it is granted. If you want to watch for your sun, moon, and rising, please feel free to do so. Okay, ready? So we're going to light the sparkler now. Okay, so there you go. I want to thank you guys, Aries, so much for being here. You guys always turn out with really wonderful comments and suggestions for the channel. You guys are my fifth house in my chart, which is always the fun house. So I'm always laughing so much with Aries people. You guys have such good energy, and it's really nice to have you here all the time. I hope all your wishes come true, and I hope that 2019 and 2020 are going to be very prosperous. Jupiter in the 9th and 10th house is a big deal, so make sure to use it to your advantage, this transit. Anyway, thank you guys so much for joining me, and thank you again for being here and checking out my video. And make sure to check out the horoscope spread down below on YouTube and on Vimeo. Okay? Have a wonderful year, Aries. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye. Hey Aries, and thank you for joining me today, and welcome to this reading for the North Node in Leo for your sign. This reading is really practical for you if you are a sun, moon, or rising Aries, and this is an explanation of the whole house system, or if you have the North Node currently in your fifth house. Now, the North Node is changing signs at the end of April. However, for many of you, it will not change house position. It's just going to change within the house that it's in. So take a look at your chart to find out what house it's in. We're talking about the North Node in the fifth house in Leo. I'm going to pull a few cards right to begin with to understand some of the primary energies for you guys. We're going to take a look at several different decks. These are oracle cards just to get us started. Let's have a look. And then I'll do a full reading after the astrology. I want to explain to you guys basically what's going on astrologically. The first card is, we have the Five of Air. So really reassessing who we are. That's a beautiful card for this transition because this card brings into focus what masks we face, how we present ourselves. The fifth house orients itself with the self. You as Aries have all your houses aligned to the proper dignity or the proper rulership because that is what the zodiac is set to. So Leo is your ruler of the fifth house, which is the natural ruler of the fifth house, which means that authentic being, gregarious living, really in touch with the self is the primary kind of way in which you authenticate yourself. The North Node moving into the fifth house gives you focus towards children, towards your own personal interests, as well as your romantic life. So this is, the fifth house is governed in romance. Expect the next period between April 28th, 2017 and November 28th, November 2018, excuse me, to be really full of ideas like this. The first message from the Earth Magic deck, Oracle deck, the Shaman, Ancient Healing Wisdom. So all this ancient wisdom is coming through you in the North Node. The North Node represents your spiritual development and the direction you want to go in life. This reading hopefully will give you a lot of insight. This card is called Intuition. Trust your intuition. So how I would apply this card in light of this transit is follow your intuition in the direction that you are guided towards, for the things that you enjoy doing, for the things that motivate you, for the things that bring you so much hope. In fact, this transition is aligned to a fixed star called Regulus. This is one of the main stars associated with leadership and prosperity. And so as the North Node creates a conjunction to Regulus within 1 degree, it will transit between Virgo and Leo, and that prominence will be coming through. Full authentication of the self. Your guidance is to put away the masks of before. Now you can really step in to who you are, to what you really enjoy being. Get in touch with the ancient wisdom of the things that you enjoy. Carry that wisdom forward and apply it to your world by simply getting in touch with whatever it is that you love. This is also true for your relationship with your children. Your children could be your teachers as well, leading you into insight and insight and intuition about the things that you need to achieve, the directions you need to go. At the bottom of this, we have the unicorn, which is trusting your intuition. It is time for you to trust your intuition and go wholeheartedly in the direction of what makes you happy in love. This is also a 2-year period in which love is definitely available for you and possible. I do have a chart to show you guys just today. So this is a simplified chart with some of the aspects that are here on April 28th. Of course, through a 2-year period, this North Node is going to move right across your 5th house, forming lots of different angles. There are 3 main time periods with this transit. First, between April 2017 and October 2017, that's nearly 6 months, we have a transit of a grand trine energy. You've heard me talk about this in several other videos, including my Saturn retrograde video. Please watch that if you haven't already. So in this transit, we have a supportive energy between Uranus and Mercury. Here Mercury, but really it's going to be Uranus, Saturn, and we have also here highlighted Cupido, which is an asteroid associated with love and achieving love. This is particularly interesting for May 2017 when we see a kite formation form straight onto Cupido. But Cupido is definitely a part of the equation with regard to this North Node transit. On April 18th, the first instance of this transition, we have the conjunction to Regulus, which promises success. So there's all this magnetism and energy behind your steps and the directions you are taking. So there's also a kite formation here, which is not highlighted in this chart. You can see the tail here with the South Node pushing forward into the North Node, just like a kite flying, pushing you from your social life and into the things that you feel most passionate about. So your direct course of action and energy is towards that, what you love. Such a beautiful, beautiful transit for you. The second main aspect will form around here somewhere in January and February 2018, where there are hard aspects on this position, creating challenge, opposition, and questions about what you actually want to do. Then in May 2018, we're going to have a big yod on Saturn right here in Capricorn. This is going to be the melting pot energy, transfigurating or transmutating this energy that we've been harnessing for over a year and really pushing it forward to put action, to words, to thoughts that we have been developing as we progress from one path, from our source energy, the south node, and into the north node. Okay, so this is a huge transition. The other energy that is with us on the onset of this transit is the Rosetta Stone. So, not Rosetta Stone, the Rosetta, which is another aspect that really encourages us to mull over energy. This involves Saturn, Chiron, and Venus, which are conjunct in Pisces/Aries, and Ceres, who is right at the end of Taurus. Rosetta formation allows us to go over any things that we are impacted by. So for us, it would be definitely, for Aries, it would be definitely the self and the spiritual side, more on the spiritual end of things, who we are spiritually. Then also really kind of rehashing our material wealth alongside the way that we communicate, manifesting forward in the North Node in the 5th house of passion and what drives us as framed by our philosophy and world perspectives. Overall, this is going to be a beautiful transition, and for you, especially Aries, you should be very excited, as this transit is a trine to your natal sun, moon, or rising, whatever you're watching for. So you're going to be having a really wonderful energy, and especially for the rest of the year and until October, this grand trine energy is going to be lifting you higher and higher and higher. Okay, so let's take a look at the tarot. I think your reading's going to be really long compared to everybody else's, but that's okay. That's what you get for being first out of the gate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's look at 6 cards. So your first card is the 8 of Cups. Then we have the 10 of Cups. Then we have the 5 of Cups. Okay. Next we have the Star. Beautiful. The Page of Cups and the 6 of Wands. You will come out victorious. Okay. Okay, so let's take a look at this formation and give you a quick rundown of all the energies that you are contending with. So at the center of everything, we have the 10 of Coins, which is wealth, success. However, around your energy, there are things that you need to iron out, Aries, particularly the conviction that you can achieve whatever it is that you want. I think you've lost your drive over this transit that's lasted nearly 24 years. And now you don't feel necessarily that you can get to the destiny that you want. You don't feel necessarily that you can get to the things that you want to achieve. There will be a relationship that comes up for you. This is the Page of Cups. There's going to be someone who comes through with some kind of offer, some kind of love energy. This person is going to be a shaman. This person is going to bring you great insight and intuition about the circumstances that you are dealing with. On the outset, your intuition has produced for you doubt and worry. You've spent some time not sure whether you can actually even trust your own instincts. This is a very sad or difficult state of affairs because you lose touch with your own intuition, right? If you lose touch with your own intuition, you will not be able to move forward on the plans and projects that you wish to achieve. And in fact, I think that you will find a successful method for you to implement the things that you want. I think that for you, some degree of financial success is unpreventable. You will be successful in whatever it is that you choose to pursue. You have to fully step into ancient healing. I suspect this is with the transit in the South Node at the tail end of the kite that I showed you. And so I feel that the South Node transit in Aquarius will bring unique people in your life who will inform you, educate you, enlighten you, however they may be different than that which you had expected, okay? Your spiritual message for the 5th house is for you to embrace all sorts of people and situations. It's important for you to take down the masks that keep you from being able to get what you want out of life. Because those masks, as you can see, keep you blind to the possibilities that are available to you. There might be an Aquarius person coming through. The star is ruled by Aquarius. Also, the South Node is transiting in Aquarius at this time. So Aquarian people will really help you to understand where you come from and what it all means. Trust your intuition, Aries. I think that this will be quite an exciting time. So let's take a look at my my Cosmic Flower Oracle deck. I got the Aloe Vera for you, the Guards Against Evil, water healing, so make sure that you participate in some kind of swimming or bathing. Sorry. Fight against loneliness, worldly success, and healing of wounds. Sorry. And a little laughter too, right? So here's the card. I just thought of like, take a bath, Aries. Whoops. Oh boy. Okay, I'm not gonna start over because I'm happy with the cards that we got. I do feel as though you need to overcome two things, and both of those things are in water elements, which are really not prominent in April at all. And so this is a loss of drive and dissolution of conviction. So just make sure that you move forward on those things and have conviction in the directions that you take. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I hope you liked this video, and make sure to check out my other videos on retrogrades and the lunar cycles, which will coincide with the switching of the nodes. Take care. Please give me a like and subscribe. Thank you so much for everything, you guys. Bye. Good luck. Aries, thank you for joining me, and welcome to this reading for June or July through December. So this is going to be the second part to this reading that we have for the whole year. I just have these cards out to remind you some of the themes that we were looking at, so we'll just talk about that next. We're not doing astrology in this video. There's a separate astrology video that's linked down below, so you can check that out in the comment section. I also did a year preview with this reading that's linked down below, and a second year preview on Instagram, and that's the astrological wheel, and then I clarified each of the houses on Vimeo, and that was a rental. Now if that Instagram post reached 500 hearts, then I release some of those videos on YouTube, and everything would be updated down below. At this point when I'm recording, I'm not quite sure what's going on, so just follow the instructions down below and watch everything that applies to you. So I hope you guys are having a good second part of the year. Let's take a look. I am going to be looking at the astrology, but I'm not going to be showing the chart to you, just to get an idea of, you know, my bearings, get my bearings for you as I'm doing the reading. But it's overall, you can watch the separate video. It's a 10-minute video I think I made for you, and it describes all the transits and shows you the transits. I felt it was better to separate it. So if you're not clear, it's not going to be a huge video describing a lot of astrology, but yeah, in this video I will be making references to some of the transits, namely your 10th house and 11th house. So you do want to take a look at that area of your chart. The 10th house is career, the 11th house is social relationships, okay? And so in this reading, what I found was that you were in some way pushing forward towards various different goals. If you look at here, this is the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter of the year. These are all initiation cards. Boom, Magician. Boom, change, which is death, transformation. The Fool, new beginning, new beginning, new beginning, over and over and over again. It feels as though you're running. This card in the center, the Judgment card, is perfect. It's like you're running towards something, you know, you're really aiming to achieve something, and you're pushing really hard. In your social life, you have the Strength card, Chariot, the Star. This is all like a lot of energy moving forward. The outcome is the Wheel of Fortune, which means that your achievements are going to be attained. But in the process of which, I feel like you're going to learn some valuable life lessons. There is going to be a tower that comes down probably early on in the year, probably in the second quarter. This could challenge your relationship. For some of you, that will break up your relationship totally. But I do think as though, for the most part, it's going to be a challenge to the relationship. And through that, you will learn a valuable lesson about finding gratitude for your partner, or finding gratitude for the person you're with. And that will like improve the whole dynamic or the whole situation overall for everybody. So I feel as though this is a very cool year for you. I think you're going to have a lot of fun in the spring and late spring. I think June, July, you have this Aries energy, a lot of Aries energy in your first house. I think April, around your birthday, you're going to have a lot of planets transiting March, April in your first house. You have a good foundation, you have good friendship, you have good connections, and I feel as though you're putting them on the line. And I wonder why. I wonder what it is for each and every one of you that is so motivating to move past these things. So that's the summary for the first reading. I hope, if you guys want more clarity, I did do the full reading, is available down below. So if something's not clear, if you're like, what does this card mean, go watch that video. But yeah, I love this. This is the Tarot Oracle, by the way. People always ask me about this deck. It's a really beautiful deck. I find it's really hard to find online because it has 2 major keywords for tarot. So Tarot Oracle, it's a highly competitive keyword section. So when you type Tarot Oracle, a million other things come up. So I actually was able to buy this in New Zealand from a small retailer. It isn't the easiest deck to get, but maybe it'll get republished, because I do think it's one of the better ones out there, because it's so happy. Anyway, so now on to the latter part of the year, and I'm going to use the Tarot of Dreams. And then, what was I clarifying with? Jesus, excuse me for the J word. Okay, so hold on. Let's see. I have a note. Oh, Cosmic Tarot. Woohoo! Where did I put my Cosmic Tarot? You guys, I failed you. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Okay, I wasn't going to restart after all that. Okay, so we're going to clarify with the Cosmic Tarot, which is one of my favorite decks too, and the Tarot of Dreams, which is one of my favorite higher arcana decks. So we're using all the arcana just like in the December 2017 reading. I'm super excited. I have them upside down. Good thing I checked. And so if you guys, I've had some really good feedback about this reading, so I hope you guys enjoy it. So we're going to take a look at your June, July until December for Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising, okay? And then you guys have so much content for the whole year to check out. You really should be really well prepared for whatever's coming your way. One of the most dynamic readings I've ever seen, to be honest. Just in terms of like excitability, hope, prospects, you know, just lots of excitement out there for you. Okay, so I'm going to cut the deck, and then we're going to do the magic. Now, with these readings, I can't hold up every single card because it's just a lot. So if you are curious, why don't you guys look up with Google the Tarot of Dreams and the card you're interested in seeing more closely, okay? So your first card is the Chariot. This is the sign of Cancer. This is overcoming things, and also things within yourself. Don't think that it's always outside of yourself. The next card is the Hermit. So you have a Virgo or a wise person who's guiding your way. Then we have the Magician, okay? Women in your life are particularly powerful this year and able to affect a lot of change for you and others. Then we have the Wheel of Fortune, change of fortune for the better. Next we have the Hanging Man, okay? So, okay, and Temperance. And I'm gonna have to move my candle here. That's okay. I've been adjusting these things constantly. These readings are really big, and I couldn't do them before because I didn't have the proper setup, and now I do. So hey. Then we have the Strength card. Okay, cool. Okay, now we have the World and the Empress and the Priestess. Okay, this is an important card. We have the Faith card. This is the Hierophant. There's something going on for you in school as well, Aries. It looks like there's long-term commitments that are meant to be made, or you are ready to let go of a long-term commitment and yet it's still holding you to your place or to your word. We have the Sun in this position. Really listen to oracles this year. I think that they're going to provide for you really important information, and really kind of listen to people who are teaching you information, bringing you forward information. I think you have a lot to learn and you have a lot to grow from. Your life is going to maintain happiness. For some of you, there's going to be a fundamental change in terms of business relationships, or your relationship with your father might drastically change. Some of you may be hooking up with an Aquarian person. If so, congratulations. More of a serious relationship than just romance. And Judgment. Wow, okay. A decision could go against you this year. A big decision. Wow, okay. There is going to be a fundamental shift and a transition that you can't avoid. But it's going to be good. You're going to be, oh, wonderful things are going to happen for you. Wow, okay. There's a quick turnaround and change. Somebody's going to step up and have your back in a situation that you didn't expect. And then you're going to be confused about their intentions. It's like they're going to show up and then maybe disappear for a bit. Let's see what your outcome is, the Devil. Okay. This is a tough reading, to tell you guys the truth. Really, really tough. Okay, so the reason it's tough is this card here in this position, and this card here. And you know how I read. I don't really try to. I'm in a great mood, by the way. In terms of like wondering whether I'm projecting into this. No, I'm having a fantastic day. It's almost November, and it's super sunny in Vancouver and warm, and I just did yoga and I'm straight. I'm really good. Okay, so I'm just clarifying that just in case you're like, Varush, are you sure you're all right? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. Okay, so let's get into this reading. So yeah, you're meant to overcome something. Remember, the moon came out for you in the first reading in the 4th quarter. I feel as though there is the need to appreciate something. Sometimes when we go super fast, we don't pay attention to, we don't smell the roses, right? And so the lesson is here that you are forcefully in some ways slowed down into a situation, and you're meant to slow down into a situation and appreciate something, appreciate the things that you have. You also want to be careful, because I feel as though your autonomy is in jeopardy this year. So do not go easy on letting go of control in your life. You do need to nurture that. You do need to take care of that. These are warnings. I'm sorry that I'm starting off with these, but these cards are really in particular positions. Now, your way through the problem is education. You need to educate yourself, certify yourself, buy into some kind of structure or order. So the goal is to align yourself with a higher school of thought. Even though you may not agree with everything, this is going to be your insight and your way to integrate, your way to get through any kinds of decisions that are going to be made against you, and persevere. You will persevere through these situations, okay? I feel as though there is a fundamental shift and a change from yin energy to yang energy. I think that there is a situation or a person with whom who will hold a lot of power in your life, and this person will have a lot of influence upon you, and they will for better or worse have a huge influence on you. And you need to, and I know a few Aries, a lot, And I love you guys. People get down on Aries more so than any other sign beside Virgo. Virgo and Aries just get a bad rap. But I think that Aries are wonderful people. Like soft fire, just wonderful energy. I can't say enough nice things. But you're in some way, you're not tempting fire. It's like it's coming. Some energy has become attached to you, and that sounds very metaphysical, but it means that basically someone has paid attention to who you are. You're the flame, right? Fire, 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 bright flame, wonderful energy, bringing life into this world, and something has attached itself to you and it's obsessed with you. So it could be a person, or it could be a situation that you got entangled in. And it's important for you to remove yourself from any toxicity that gets attached to you, because at the end of the year, you realize how you, in search of some truth or some higher purpose, you've entangled yourself with something that is corrupt, and it's corrupting you. It's corrupting you, and it's not doing anything nice for you. That doesn't mean that the whole year is shot. It means that from the first beginning of the year, your mantra or your goal is to avoid attachments to things that are harming you in any way, even though there may be incentive in the interim. There may be incentive in the interim to perpetuate happiness. So it's like, oh, well, this person isn't very nice, but I don't have anybody else to hang out with, so for the time being, I'll spend time with that person, right? So it's that interim kind of thing. Those things will pollute you. They will create for you. And so this has something. There's also a situation with school. See, from the third party point of view, not third party situation, but like a fly on the wall kind of observer, it's so easy to say, well, just don't do that. But in the midst of a lot of change and transformation, shocks to the system, boom, something shocking is happening right now. It's very hard because you know, in those moments of vulnerability or experience, we are moved to make choices that are, sometimes it's not just like something simple like you don't want to be lonely. Sometimes it has to do with survival stuff, like, getting enough food or something, taking a job. So I'm mindful of the fact I'm not trying to be patronizing, and I'm not trying to simplify the situation, but I do feel as though you're meant to, in some way, how do you say this? You're meant to, in some way, manage out of any entanglements or suppression or submission to things that are not serving you, and look for something higher. Now, the way through the problem is that you are going to recognize some things that are of great value in your life at the end of the year. So you're going to have to go through this is one of the most active years, I think, for you. I can't believe it. It's coming in the cards. It's coming in the astrology. It's just everywhere on your chart. So at the end of the year, you're going to go through so many peaks and valleys that you're going to have a subtle awareness that comes to your mind about what really matters. And I think that particularly, and I'm not knocking Aquarians, I have an Aquarian moon, but if you're forming a relationship with an Aquarius, be very, very cautious. Be very cautious of the entanglement with that Aquarius. If that Aquarius is in some way, there's well-adjusted signs and negatively adjusted signs. All the signs have positive and negative facets of them. So if this Aquarius, I've met maybe one or two really bad Aquarians, and I like Aquarians, my moon's in Aquarians, as I said, but when bad ones, they are so evil. Like the ones who have a problem within them, they are like think of like the cyborgs from like Star Trek or something, you know, just a tin can with nothing but deductive reasoning, the ability to rationalize and tear you a new one without any remorse and any sympathy, just completely cold and heartless. But that's not the average Aquarian. Average Aquarian is extremely gentle and soft and beautiful, but when they get into that cyborg side of things, it's complete cruelty, you know, psychopathy, sorry. So I feel as though if you are in some way entangled yourself in a relationship with an Aquarian, you know, then you need to step out. Remember that the solution is just a step away. I love this card because it really shows how easily it is to remove yourself from this situation. So that's the main message. There's going to be a huge moment of upheaval. Hold on. And I think that you're going to have your beacon of hope is family, parents, wife, husband, relationship. That's going to be guiding you through the whole set of circumstances. I feel as though what makes you happy is going to fundamentally change. And I think that you're going to seek justice in light of the things that are happening for you. The other way of looking at this, the other facet of this, is the Emperor here, which means that you're taking up responsibility for your own kingdom. So you're coming into a position of power and authority in your life, which is true. And I feel as though there's going to be limitations to that, but you're going to work through them. And your goal is going to be take like ownership over a situation, take command over a situation and say, you know, this is mine. But with that, there comes a battle. You have to assert your dominance in a situation. By the way, the Emperor is ruled by Aries. I love telling you guys that because that's such a cool card to have as your card. Okay? And I do feel like you're going to persevere, but I do feel as though there's going to be a judgment that comes down against you. That there's going to be something that you're not going to necessarily be able to work your way through. And it's going to be really drastic, and it's already started in 2017. So this situation's already begun. And you're consistently going to be tempted by new beginnings over and over again, you know, to run away, to remove yourself from a situation, to break free, break away, that kind of stuff. Oh, you can just do this, get away from this situation, you'll be fine. Oh, you can do this, get away from the situation, you'll be fine. Over and over. That makes you run faster and faster, just like a hamster in a wheel, right? And I feel as though that the answer is to slow down, take a look at things, and have that fighting spirit, you know? Hear that lion's roar from within and say, no more of this. I'll take my chances. I'll absorb the costs, but I'm not going to keep starting it over and over again, because that's causing me setback in the long term. Okay? So, yeah. Romance. Yeah, definitely romance there. You know, there's definitely romance. And it feels as though things are at stake. Like big things are at stake and you're being challenged. So you can live a complacent life or you can fight. And I think that this year is your year to fight forward for yourself. Not physically fight, I don't condone violence, but some kind of pushing forward for your agenda, you know. And you're up against something that's not honest, you know. The devil as the outset, you're up against something that is not honest, and you're up against something that's kind of perverse, you know, something that wants your attention and energy, or a person. It materializes differently for every single person. Yes okay. But I feel your beliefs, your faith, your belief structure, what your religious orientation is, empowers you, and you need to draw on the strength of that this year. You're going to be able to travel really far away places, and yet you're going to be in a situation. The reason this is all happening is that you have to overcome something that's been continuous in your life for a really long time, and you need to liberate yourself from that thing, and the direct route is not working, so now a side route has developed. The infrastructure is falling apart, and now you have to do something else to address the problem so you can grow. Okay, let's clarify. Okay, let's clarify the Chariot first. So we have the Empress, okay? So this is overcoming either issues with your mother or your role as a mother. For some of you, this has to do with family things. You know, this has to do with obligations within the family. It's almost as if you're, you know, fighting an internal struggle against your husband. And on some way, you know, the fundamental trust in that relationship is dissipating, and you have to take up control of your own life. For those of you, I mean, you will be so successful, but the outset of that is that, you know how they say there's like happy endings? This is the Moon, which is like, it's kind of open-ended ending. Like there's no clear, there's just feelings and emotions that you have to create reality around at the end of the year. You know, you have to, because the happiness that you're living is not real happiness. That's the problem. And that's why you keep running towards something else, and that's how the devil has you, you know, incentives to try something else because you're distracted. In order to align yourself with a potential new opportunity, you have to keep sacrificing the current moment, and that's not necessarily long-term good strategy, because you're undermining your long-term consequences. At the center is a big decision that you're making. Okay, it's a big decision, the Two of Swords, and I feel as though there's no one to guide you with. In fact, there's people who have an incentive to tell you to maintain the status quo, to maintain, you know, the situation as it is. Let's clarify that Death card, Eight of Swords, which is a lack. It's really taking away from your happiness this year, the difficulty in trying to find a decision in the direction that you're going. So it's very hard for you to discern what direction is the best one, and that's causing you more and more being stuck. So anything that gets you unstuck, you're really concerned about putting your money on the line for things. It's got you stuck because you're not challenging yourself, you know. There's a soulmate out there for you. This is another way to read it. There's a soulmate out there for you, but you're not ready, or you're not challenging yourself enough to put your material comforts on the line for achieving happiness, and that's the hard lesson that you're learning at the end. The hard lesson is the realization that what matters to you most, right? You feel as though your money is the more important thing, the stability, you know, because that's a cornerstone of life. But I feel as though there's going to be a higher lesson about value in your life, and it's gonna shock you. So we have the Four of Cups. There's offers to do with school, but everything kind of seems unfulfilling. There might be a new avenue that opens up for you in terms of school and career. Let's see the Tower card. Three of Cups, celebration. I would be very, very careful with celebrating this year too. Be very careful with, you know, drinking or any kind of activities that can be classified as reckless or dangerous. I feel as though in that situation you could get in an accident, or you can get into an interaction with someone else that will you can can say something regrettable you know, and then, but this is also about empowering yourself to take a certain step. For some of you, this is like the time to, you know, form a union and get married. And that marriage is going to result in a lot of financial wealth and security. So that's nice. That's good for you. Let's see what the wheel brings. So that's, yeah, so a lot of opportunity, and you're psyching yourself out. You need to get grounded. You really need to get grounded. Yeah. And focused on, you know, attainable things, gratitude for what you have. And then Leo people are going to give you perspective. So maybe that's the oracle there. But Leo people are going to give you perspective and understanding. But it's also ambition, right? Let's clarify that moon, because that came up in the same kind of area of the reading twice in the first reading. 8 of Wands. So like words, actions speak louder than words, you know? Are you going to push? I mean, the feeling is that at the end of the year, you have this stark realization that emotionally you have misdirected your life. That's what I think it is. And I feel as though that's going to prompt you to do that in 2019, in January, or like late December 2018. Where you're going to just realize that you've been focusing so much on security that, and just getting things done, just overrun with responsibility, that that you're missing out on a spirit connection. And that's one of the most valuable things in life. So I think that you're going to get it. I'm not going to divinate for you about whether or not you're going to get it, but I think it's going to come around. But you don't want to be wasteful. The lesson is, like, you're restricting yourself. You're doing so much and yet you're restricting yourself. So keep that in mind as you go through the latter part of the year. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. And yeah, you know, out of the box thinking is really important, Aries. I wish you all the best. Take care. Bye-bye.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining me, and welcome to this session of ASMR. I'm very excited to be here with you guys. I know I've talked about this before, doing this, but I think that this is a nice time to do ASMR for you. Some things came together and became available for me, so I hope you enjoy this. I just got this today. I'm very excited. It's a rose quartz candle holder. So I have fluorite, I have amethyst, and now I finally have rose quartz. And I love it. So, yes. So, let me just start. I was going to do something different. So first off, put on your headphones, and then you'll understand what I'm doing. If you've never done ASMR before, just try. It's actually very helpful and relaxing. A lot of people are stressed out. I like it. It's like telling you guys secrets, so we can tell secrets together. But anyway, I was going to start with this. So we're going to start now with this. whispering. I used to whisper a lot when I was a kid, so I'm really good at it. Anyway, so in a sponsorship, I sent out this deck, and I purchased it again. And let me show you something. So let me show you this. There's a purpose to this, and why I'm putting this on the main channel. Okay, so I got the deck from Amazon, but it's not a problem with Amazon. When I pick the deck apart, look, can you see what happened? The cards are damaged. So the cards were just not separating properly. So this was deck 1. And then I purchased a second deck. I absolutely adore this deck because I love all House products. But unfortunately, there's something wrong with the ink. And so I got another deck. So I have actually like 3 or 4 of these little books. Okay, so let's read. It says, change your focus. This is the 5. I think that's the 5 of Cups. Disappointment, lost, shift, appreciate. Some disappointment and sadness are inventable. How you deal with it determines the quality of your life. It may be that you recently experienced the loss, perhaps the loss of a friendship or a failed romance. Maybe your family isn't providing the support you need, or you regret decisions you've made. Any number of situations can cause happiness. When relationships don't turn out the way you expect, it's natural to feel upset and hurt. However, it's not healthy to remain in that state for too long. When this card appears, it's time to put those sorrows behind you and shift your focus to what is good and positive in your life. Appreciate the people who love you and your ability to give you love to others. Take stock of what brings you joy. Take charge of your own happiness. Is key here. Focus on what you have and what you are thankful for, and attract more of the same. Okay, so that was just like impromptu. I'll put that to the side, but I got the second deck. And look, same thing happened. And when I bought my deck, the one, these cards, and that's why I'm doing the ASMR, because there's lots of triggers in them. I have to return them, but so when I bought my deck, the same thing happened. This one's not as bad, actually. Ooh, this one's pretty good. But on the back you can see, they tore. But check this out. The cards, because when they're stuck together, they make a certain sound. Can you hear it? So, sorry about the noise. I'm filming this at 2 o'clock in the night, so I'm hoping that we'll have less interruptions, but whatever. So I got a third deck, and this one's not open. So when I bought the original deck, the one that I sent out to you guys, what I did was, oh, this is nice. Sorry about the car. Anyway, so the girl where I bought the deck, we went through like 3 decks and found a deck that wasn't all broken up and sticky. So what I'm gonna do with you guys right now is try to create a deck out of these 3 decks. you guys will get some tingles. I have some toys, but I'm not an expert in the sound. I have this. Oh, let's do the seashell. You guys want to do this? I have this. So you guys probably heard me use this today. And this is just like a little sound from the ocean. Let me know if you can hear it. It should be going in your right ear. And now let's try your left ear. Sorry. Nice. Well, that's the seashell effect. We can do more of that another time. I'm really just testing everything, so please tell me what you like and what you don't like. So maybe I'll take a little break and I'll organize this, and then we'll edit it all together for you. I can't do these live. Okay, so maybe I'll do that and I'll test how it turned out, and then I'll be back in a minute with this organized so we can organize all the cards into one deck. So now we're gonna take a look at this deck, and hopefully it will be perfect. But just in case, I have two decks that will, in some way, hopefully be better for fixing one complete deck. So I'm just gonna open this plastic because apparently people like this as well. It's time for the big reveal. Brand new deck. Let's hope it's perfect. Nope. I've been through like 7 of these decks, and each one had the same problem. So it's a manufacturing issue, which is strange because AO's decks are usually perfect. They're actually way better than most cards. Like John Holland's first deck, amazing quality. It's still in good shape, but you can see the cards are stuck together. Like this is sound, crunch. I found this very satisfying before. To break them apart, you want to twist them like a little bit so they break up. You see that? And hopefully out of the 2 decks or 3 decks, we'll find one perfect, one or one close to perfect. If you can see what I'm doing. Okay. And then now over here, let's see. The little, it has gold edging, and the gold edging is flying off of it and it's sparkling in the air. It's really pretty. I love this card. Yeah, this one's pretty bad too, you can see. So, I think the best strategy is to just get 3 decks and hope that one will work out. And I said decks, not, the other word. I know, you hear that? Let me know if you guys want me to speak Polish to you. Gruszka. That means a pear. Like the fruit. I just thought that sound was interesting because it was like, it's unique. And because it's a manufacturer issue, it's not one to replicate easily, right? So, that's why I made the video. Okay. I hope this isn't boring, you guys. I have other triggers in between the cards, so we'll do like the arcana, and then I'll do a trigger, and then I'll do the suit of wands probably next, and then we'll do a trigger. So here's my next trigger for you guys. Are you ready? So stuff to make quiet noises with. More after the arcana. Okay, so let's do this. First card. I won't show you everyone up close, but I think this one's fine, unless one of them is better. All of them are good. I'll take this one. And if anybody from my house is watching, I'm sorry. Okay, Magicians. This one's damage. Right there. Okay. And then sometimes I'll pick which one's least damaged. This one's not really damaged. Okay. And this one's damaged. Good. Okay. High Priestess. This is my favorite High Priestess. She's so lovely. Oh my god. Damage. Let's see here. I think this one's the least damage actually. Okay, so some of them they'll be just like there's no option. But I'll take what I can get. Emperor is pretty good. This one's not. I'm trying to do this somewhat quickly. This is what I look like. It's actually a perfect representation, except my boobs aren't so big. Oh, this one's stuck. Sorry if it's too loud. Some ASMR videos, the person's just like outright talking, and I'm like, that's like my regular video. Okay, these are all damaged, but I'll just take this one. It's the least. I'll take all three. I'm just kidding. Oh, these are all damaged too. Shit. I wonder if YouTube will flag me if I whisper swear words. Okay, which one's the worst? Which one's the best, I mean? Oh. That's the chariot card. I think the middle one. Yeah, the middle one. Okay. Oh, I know what I'll do to make it more fun for you guys. One deck is over here. You can kind of see my hand, yeah? And then the other one's by the next mic. And then we'll have this one over here, so you have this kind of, you know, kind of some kind of interesting thing to listen to while I fiddle with this. Apparently people really like mouth sounds. And because I'm Polish, I'm really good at it. Star card. Healing, healing, healing. And none of the cards are healed. We're almost there to the next trigger. You guys have to earn it. You have to earn it with me. Earn it. I've been planning this for days. It's so hard for me not to tell you secrets. And now there's another way for me to tell you secrets. Okay, good enough. I'm already bored. This is why I change up my shit all the time, because I get bored. Okay, trigger time. Okay, what do we have? Oh, I have something neat. Okay, are you ready? Maybe you guys can guess what it is. A lot of people like this kind of stuff. Thank you. Okay, next we'll go really fast. I plan to finish this in the next 5 minutes. That is my goal. Last time I said 10 minutes, it took me an hour, so okay. This is different. Sorry if I'm focusing on your right ear too much. I'm just sitting that way. 1, 2, 3, 4. Get your booty on the floor. Gotta get up. Get down. Gotta get up. Get down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Get your booty on the floor. Gotta get up to get down. Gotta get up and get down. Oops. This one looks kind of crappy to me. See, but it's a beautiful card. Open up. This is me opening up. There we go. Open up. Good. Ouch. When I see the cards, I'm like, ouch. This one hurts. This one hurts. This one's a sad card, but I like it. Feeling low. Here's a mid wands. A little more seashell. It's pretty. It's like the seashell, even though it's dead, it brings the ocean with it. It's beautiful. Like the memory is like in some way attached to it, you know. And its very being and its very essence is the ocean. The millennia it took, the millions of years it took for it to evolve, right? Beautiful thought. Okay. this daughter, right? And I said something cute to the daughter because she was like looking up at me or whatever. Yeah, so and he smiled at me. He was like a single dad, I guess. Way too old for me. I always get older guys though. It's because I'm tall. Oh, and I'm nice to children, so. Children and dogs. Anyway, I just told her she can be intuitive. And she smiled. Because I had people do that to me when I was a little girl. Tell me that I can, like, do this or that. I knew a witch when I was like 9 years old. And she was really, really important to me. Okay, so I have another trigger. This is a little body mist, but I like spraying it around. It's for prosperity. So, may this ASMR be prosperous. Smells like verbena. I like it. Oh no, bergamot and anise. I like it. It's fresh. I also have true love, but it never brought me true love yet. Okay. What else can I show you? Oh, I have another one. This is something that's like, I'm not going to show you what it is until after I do it. This is what it is. I picked this myself. It's from my hometown. It's driftwood. I love driftwood. Okay, next. Let's get this party done. It's late. Hey, Rouge, what were you doing last night? Oh, nothing. I was partying with my cards. And we stayed up real late, being real quiet. I'm gonna call this ASMR, the party of being real quiet. Real quiet. Can't get kicked out for this one, eh? No cops at the door. Oh, Farouche, you're being too loud. Really? Really? Yes. Vancouver's elected Liberal government again. Liberals, for those of you who are in the States, means like the conservative Republicans in the US. Oh, we have another Boulevard card. I don't know if that feels good to listen to. It's kind of like a pop. Oh, another one. Oh, looky, looky. Damn shit. Oh no. I think somebody just came in, so sorry. Preemptively. Sorry about the noise. Okay. I hope there's no, like, there we go. Loud noises. Hey, Farouche, you're being a real dick. Yeah, I know. I wonder if I get flagged for whispering this kind of stuff. We'll see, we'll see. Okay, next. Oh, this one's lots of it. I love this card. It's good. So, yeah. It reminds me of my friend the Scorpio a lot. he's not black. Who cares about skin, right? So if you're watching this, Mr. Scorpio, this is what you reminded me of. Maybe it helps. I don't know. Oh, and I have one of those. Except I can't play it rainbow yet. I gotta still practice. Oh, they're so sticky. We're almost there, guys. Oh, we need to do a trigger, I think. Ooh, they're so broken up. I think I'm getting a decent deck out of this, but I don't think it's possible to have a perfect deck. Okay, so next one. This is from my Hoodoo Priestess. I absolutely love this one. Good stuff. Okay. More on the way. I feel like ASMR is like music and poetry. And secretly, I've always wanted to do it. I did it. My first ASMR video was in like 2013. And it was a tarot card reading. But I didn't have a proper microphone. And it sounded like shit, so I took it off. But I can show you guys. As a joke, I'll put it in sometime. And you guys can laugh at me. Anyway. Thank you to everyone who does ASMR who inspired me to do this, because I just realized it's such a wonderful thing for dealing with stress, anxiety, needing to sleep, needing something quiet to listen to. So hopefully this is helpful to you, and I think I'm reaching that 45-minute kind of. Oops. If anybody has access to the Philosopher's Tarot Oracle, please let me know. I want it. It's hard to find. Ace of Cups. Let's see. Spread. Oh, Ace of Swords. Oh, Ace of Wands. Yeah. Joy and stability. Yep. Ace of. This is the D card. Okay. At the top. Let's see what we got. Is the. Just breathe. I don't know. It sounds creepy to me. People like it though. Just breathe. Okay. And then number 3. Oh, sadness. That's me. Broken heart. Scorpio. How dare you, Scorpio? Number 3. Refusing to see. Oh yeah. Blinders on. Okay. That's why I kind of cut it, because I knew they would be kind of together, because they're not properly. Okay. See, believe and succeed. I refuse to see and I will win. I always win. The next one, dedicated effort. Virgo card, Sun and Virgo. Yay. And then, ooh, the crown chakra. Connection to the universe. I'm doing these ASMR videos mostly for the energy work quality to help you guys, you know. Have another. Oh, see, detach. This is the Libra card. This is the card of Libra. Opposite. Change your focus. Somebody's got to get over themselves. Good noise. I'm so sorry about that. Ooh. Wish card. Yes, I have another sparkler for you guys. And the outcome. Boom. Sexuality. No, just kidding. Okay. Since you guys have been good, those of you who stayed, here's another sparkler. Hopefully it won't fall and burn. Oh, shh. Alright, my ladies and gentlemen, please give me a thumbs up for effort. Let me know what to change. Thank you so much for watching. Oh, I have one more trigger, and you may want to take off. I think this one will be loud, so tell me how loud it is. And if you're very sound sensitive, take off your headphones right now. In 5. Oh, I'll read something, and then you guys can take off your. So this is a very wonderful book. So let's just read something from it. It's given to me by a friend. One just comes to enjoy them more and more, becomes more and more grateful, and so out better and simpler in one's vision, deeper in one's faith in life, happier and greater in the way one lives. Namaste, everyone. Have a nice day. Thank you. Take off your headphones now if you're sound sensitive. Thank you. Good night.
Joining me, and welcome to this reading. So this is going to be your August 24th and 25th reading. I know you guys like pick a card, so I have these available for you just to pick from, and this will be a collective reading. So it's one of those readings where you can choose a pick a card, you can choose which option is for you or apply it to whatever you like, or you can actually just watch the whole thing and we're gonna choose which one goes first live. So whoever's watching live can pick, and I will pick 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is an energy update for August 24th and the 25th. What I'm going to do is just turn off the camera just for a moment, and then we're going to start it for the timeless readings, because I want this reading to be available anytime for anyone. So I hope that you guys are okay with that. So let me know if you have any questions. I got some really beautiful cards to use today, so I'm excited about that. The energy is really soft, and it's really soft, and it's kind of overcast in Vancouver, and it's kind of like the calm before the storm. We're about to have a full moon in Pisces on the 27th, and I can feel squishy already. I hope you guys are feeling squishy too. What else can we say about right now? And then of course there's the push that's starting on the 28th when Mars moves to direct. So this is not about passivity. This is really about pedal to the metal, and I think that you guys are going to enjoy this energy. So if you want to get ready for it on the 24th and the 25th and on this weekend, make sure you spend some time really taking care of whatever kind of chores or responsibilities that you have to take care of, such as, minding the house or whatever it is that is outstanding in your task list. You should really apply effort to try to complete it before the 28th, even through the full moon. The full moon in some way is depreciated. I'm not going to do a full moon special reading because I don't think we need it. And everything that we are needing to take care of, that's what we're doing right now. So in terms of like practical advice and the things that you should be doing through these couple days, it's like, make sure you finish what you started. Make sure that you finish as much as you can, because what happens on the 28th is that almost, here, I'm going to play some relaxing music because this is already stressing me out. So basically, what's going to happen starting on the full moon a little bit. The full moon is the kind of quiet whisper reminding you that you have to complete whatever it is that you're doing. But then starting on the 28th, there will be such a push, and not in Virgo, obviously. It's going to be in Capricorn when Mars goes direct. It's going to be like intense, full power, full potency of energy, and it's just going to be so fun. And everything that you have been wanting to do physically is now within your grasp, and so you should prepare yourself so that you don't have to spend your time in other directions. You will have lots of energy, you will have lots of opportunity to kind of feel strong and get things done. This is a time when a lot of people are feeling emotionally impacted. This is a time when the Mars and South Node and Lilith are in Aquarius, so we've been talking about that. If you guys want more information on the stuff that I'm talking about right now, you want to go to the September direct videos. So I did this series of September direct videos that coincided with the eclipse in Leo, and it's actually, that's where it started, August 11th, and now we're stepping into the full maturation of that energy. And in that video series for every single sign, I broke down the Capricorn direct transit as well as the Aquarian transit. And it doesn't matter if you have placements in Aquarius or not, because this is affecting everybody. And on an interpersonal level, how it's affecting us is that there is this level of a lack of sympathy. And people who have a predisposition to psychopathy, to sociopathy, to narcissism, they're really motivated and they're triggered by this transit. So you want to think of this as people who are mentally ill, even though narcissism is not a mental illness. You have to differentiate it from narcissistic personality disorder. It's a trait, it's a behavioral trait, and sociopathy is a learned behavior as well. It becomes a mental illness, but it's caused by trauma. Anyway, so people like that, people who have a diminished affect, people who have like a broken emotional center and core, they will lash out more right now. So if you're dealing with a narcissist or if you're dealing with a psychopath, or, well, you shouldn't be dealing with a psychopath. If anybody that you're dealing with you kind of figure out is a psychopath, you should remove yourself from the situation. I talked about this more in the Aries September video, and I talked about it pretty early on in the video if you guys want to go check it out. And if somebody wants to time cap that part of the video, then I really explain it there in the first part where I explain the court cards. So maybe go back to that. So yeah, so people like who have this kind of issues to do with feelings. So what are all those feelings about? Narcissism, psychopathy, sociopathy, all of those feelings have to do with a lack of connection to your emotional framework. And so this isn't about like calling somebody a psycho, no offense, and I know it's very triggering because a lot of people experience that in their life, but you have to think about it as people who are incapable of feeling certain emotions, and most emotions actually. So what you guys are talking about in chat is like your experience of being abused by one of those people and that's the consequence of that illness. That is the effect of that illness, right? That is the effect of those behavioral traits. And so people get, especially in the community, like healing community, they tend to focus on what the consequences are. But what I'm trying to suggest is that these people who are ill themselves are in some way really triggered by this transit. Lilith is a very aggressive transit. Mars is an aggressive transit, and the South Node has to do with with our karmic background. It has to do with our karma, where we come from. So you have to think of I love Aquarians dearly. I have a moon in Aquarius, but you have to think of Aquarians as really people who in certain respects have a different approach to emotions than other signs do. They really do have this kind of etheric emotional framework, right? And so basically with this transit with Mars and the South Node and Lilith right now, I think that's pulling out of people realities that are very matter of fact, realities that are very stark, and sometimes they're hard to deal with. So when a person is a narcissist or has narcissistic tendencies, if they have psychopathic tendencies, if they have sociopathic tendencies, then they're going to get triggered because it's going to feel more. There's a distinction between Aquarius and between psychopathy, right? They're two different things. Aquarians feel, and they feel a lot actually, but Psychopaths don't, but the frequency is somewhat similar, and 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 in some ways people who can't feel really get triggered by an Aquarian vibe. So if you have Aquarian transits, most likely you get probably your fair share of narcissist, sociopath, or psychopath exposure. So anyway, so it's important to, through this time, be wise with your feelings and emotions. Whether you have those conditions or not, you're going to be feeling as though there is a lack of coddling, there's a lack of emotional support. Both Capricorn and Aquarius, where most of the transits are very, in some way, matter of fact, right? And so it's important at this time to not fall into the trap of feeling as though you don't have emotional support, care, and nurture. And then especially if you're exposed to narcissists, sociopaths, or psychopaths, don't think that that's your framework, that that's what you're dealing with, because they're triggered, they're acting up. You're sitting here already feeling as though there is like a lack of emotions around you, sympathy, empathy, all of those things. And so then they act up like little kids, they act up, right? And then they're triggered by Aquarian transits, and then they start picking on the people around them. So you could in some way feel as though right now, if you're in that situation where you're in proximity to someone who's ill like that, then you can feel as though there is a lack of support, that there's a lack of attention. Conversely, that Piscean full moon is going to be emotional. That Piscean full moon is really, compassionate and nice. So it's a mix of both, but I think that for those people, I wanted to say something about this for those people who are in some way struggling with these issues. So I'm not sure. Okay. So, do you guys want to begin? So that was my talk for the 24th and the 25th. In short, in summary, get your work done. Don't feel bad if somebody's picking on you, but it's going to be a time in which you will very much be able to tell. Well, we don't diagnose anybody, right? Because we're not doctors. But get your work done. And with this transit, you will definitely see people who have predispositions in these directions act up and do things and be what they are, right? And it's your decision as an adult to choose if you're going to be interacting with that energy. It's a difficult, doctors diagnose those kinds of things, but you have to decide for yourself. You have to decide for yourself, if you want to be with someone like that or in a situation like that. So many people choose these situations until they don't work in their favor, and then it's like, then they go on that narcissistic rant. Oh, he was a narcissist. It's like, well, for 15 years you were seeing the benefit of that, so now you're crying about it. You have to kind of think about, people call everyone and their mother a narcissist these days, and you have to realize that it's a real thing, and you have to take ownership, because I think that people conflate being a victim with narcissistic abuse. It's like, oh, you've been abused by a narcissist, so therefore it's like the person who is expressing that they have been exposed to a narcissist, sometimes it almost sounds like in some way that is an issue in and of itself. Like and sometimes the narcissist can be a covert narcissist, so they can be saying, oh, narcissist over there, whereas in fact they're the ones who are instigating. And that's very common with women, because boyfriend, you know, men, they say, you know, she called me a narcissist, but she was actually the one who was instigating, because women express their power in different ways, right? So their covert narcissism is really common in women. Both men and women get it, but when guys say, you know, it's the guy seems bad. I don't know if you guys have seen this in your social life, like in a friend group where the guys, there's all these rumors about the guy being bad, and then the guy speaks up privately and says, I don't know what happened. I mean, she was instigating the entire time. And then the other person says, well, you did this and that and the other. So it's so complicated. The thing just to keep in mind through this transit is that is that people who have narcissistic tendencies, which is a learned behavioral pattern, right? It's learned, are going to feel as though they're enabled, that Lilith and Mars is going to just wind them up. So that all their little ideas, or their little schemes, all the little things that they actually hold back doing, they may do more. They may do more now. So it's and they feel empowered. They feel empowered to do it. They feel like they have to do it. They feel compelled to do it, you know? So if you're around people like that, they're going to start. So you might have this tougher time right now, you know, because there's a lot of narcissists around. Psychopaths and sociopaths less common, but there's different degrees. It's a spectrum, you know, just like autism. It's a big spectrum. So it's just, they feel compelled to act. You have to realize that the way that they're rationalizing things, the way that they're rationalizing their actions makes sense to them. So you don't want to try to get into a debate with them about what they're doing, because they're not going to relate to the way that you're relating to the situation. So the only thing that I can impart in this circumstance or this dynamic is to like watch all over your feelings and recognize that you are enabling behaviors. If you are enabling behaviors, like if you're putting up with it, you're enabling behaviors. Okay? So tough one. It's a tough one. There's whole YouTube channels dedicated to this stuff. So the thing is, my advice is just to stay clear. But the nice part about this is that you're gonna see who is who and what is what. Okay? Yeah, you're gonna see because they're not gonna be able to help themselves. You know, hopefully it's not gonna get too chaotic for you, but they're, you know, people who have a tendency to pop off, they're gonna be more vocal. They're gonna be more scheming, more fuckery, all of that stuff. Couldn't say it without saying the F-bomb. Okay, so you guys say thumbs up. I guess I didn't expect this to happen. I was like, I wonder how that's gonna come up, because it's been a total energy thing, but okay, so yes, the like button, yes. But there is sympathy, there is compassion, there are good things coming around. And the name of the game is getting things done. The name of the game is, you know, it's that whole, you know, like flex on them haters. It's about the bust down. I wish yeah. One day. I'm just kidding. So yeah, so you guys are good. You guys are fine. Everything's good. And then we have, okay, so we're going to start now. So for you guys who are watching for the 24th and the 25th, this is like a complete reading. And then you guys who are watching live can choose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then as I read, I'll read those cards first, okay? Yes, okay. And do you guys want me to do a Vimeo reading afterwards about this? Yeah. And also watch your own predisposition to not be nice to people. Bite your tongue, don't get into it. Remember, with a narcissist or a psychopath, you don't win. because they have a lower bottom line than you do. That's the bottom line, you know. There's this somebody who I'm kind of friends with, and someone asked me, because they did a bunch of crappy stuff around me, and a friend of mine was like, well, are you interested in them anymore? And I'm like, well, I don't know, because I know the bottom line, right? Like, if you know the bottom line, it's pretty easy to deal with someone. Yeah, watch that tongue at work. Watch those eyes. Don't side-eye people either. Don't screw face. Anyway, so was this helpful? Do you guys want Vimeo? If you say yes, then I don't know. Vimeo is the way that you guys can help and support the channel. The link is down below, and I have different kinds of Vimeo packages available. And yeah, so I can do a Vimeo package for this later. I just need to know now if you guys want Vimeo or not. Yes, Vimeo. Thanks, Maribel. Okay, but I'm going to do one, because I'm not going to do 6 videos today for Vimeo. Okay? I'm going to do, like, deeper energy for the whole package. Yeah? So I guess this was our daily tarot talk. Was it a success? Did we learn something? Did we get, like, grounded? And do we know which way we're going? Are we stoked? Are we flexing on those haters? Yeah? Cassie says, I can't control my facial expressions, purely visceral. Me too. I have an expressive face. Oh, hey, Oksana's Tarot. Hey, honey. Thanks for coming. Yes. We don't love them hoes. Just kidding. Okay. So, yeah. Know their bottom line and don't fool yourself. And don't get squishy now. Don't get squishy now. You know, get squishy with the ones who deserve it. But the other energy that's coming through in terms of an energy update, the other energy that's really strong, that's beautiful, is that on the heels of hateful energy is pure loving energy. So it's just amazing, and it reconciles the hateful energy completely. So it's just yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, whatever. Clever. Yeah. I want to give a shout out to Lulu, who is Ocean's Tarot of Ocean. I love her. She's so great. And I watched her video, and she's like, whatever. She's like, oh yeah, that's my sister, and whatever. I was like, oh yeah. So big heart to Lulu. Hey girl, hey, I love your channel. You're so dope. I was like, I hope she doesn't catch me saying whatever and think that, like, it's a thing, you know, like, no, I've been saying whatever too for a while. I love it. Whatever. I'm not the only one. Whatever. She's cute with it, for sure. So anyway, go check out her channel. Go check out Oksana's Tarot. Who else is here? I think Tarot by Tammy. Is that what it is? Is that there? We have a lot of readers here. Hi guys. Yeah. Palladian's Tarot is here too. Hey girl, hey. Well, no, the whatever, I don't think it's just mine. I think I share it with Lulu. It was just dope to hear her say it, for sure. Anyway, so yeah, so that's our daily tarot talk. We haven't had one of these like this for a minute, so I hope it was helpful. I hope it got you guys grounded and on point with, you know, yeah. So in short, in summary again, so we have So we have, hold on. Sometimes you guys, some people say random stuff and it just, no, I didn't copy Lulu. No, I've been saying it for years, whatever, whatever. That's like a local thing in Vancouver. But that doesn't matter. It can be an international thing too with America, right? She didn't copy me either. I don't think so. House of Ocean. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, if I say a quote from someone else, then, you know, hey girl, hey. I'm just kidding. So yeah, narcissists, sociopaths, psychopaths, your choice if you're dealing with them. Make sure you don't step into that energy yourself. Make sure that you are not in some way integrating, you know, those kinds of selfish belief systems, aggrandizement, all that stuff. And be on point with getting your stuff done, and then there's compassion, and on the heels of bad situations, don't be so scared, because there's really good stuff coming. So yeah, whatever. Well, no, I'm like, I don't know if you're Pacific, like whatever. I don't know if that's like California. I'm from the Pacific Northwest, or with the west coast of Canada. When I say west coast, I mean BC. Yeah, ayo. Yeah, for sure. I just heard her say it. I was like, "Oh, that's cool," because I just thought that was from here, but I think it's in other places too. Yeah, whatever, whatever. Maybe California. There's a lot of mixed bag. This is getting way too much of a reduction. So let's get back on point, on topic. Give me a like. I'm going to pause the video, and then I'm going to edit this part out, and then we're going to do this. I'm thinking maybe I should just start a whole new video. Can you guys wait 5 minutes and I'll start a whole new video? Because we went too long. I was planning on going 10 minutes. I'm going to call this my narcissist talk, and then we're going to do another one. Okay? So you guys stay right there. Don't pop off of stream. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be offline for 2 minutes, and then I'll be back. That's the best way. Is the music okay? Yes! Bye, guys. Hi guys, thanks for joining me, and welcome to this reading for the full moon in Gemini. I'm excited to be here with you guys. We're going to read for this sign. I'll reveal it in just a moment, but let's take a look at the overall energy. Please make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. That would be really great. And let's take a look at what's going on for you with this very special full moon. We have the King of Wands as your first card, and then we have the Judgment card, big decision, and the Eight of Swords. So there's a big decision that's looming in your future with regard to a situation, and I don't think that it's easy to solve how things will move forward after this decision is made. This could be a Sag, a Leo, or an Aries. Remember, with this full moon, I'll show you in a moment, there is a mystic rectangle, which means that any decision that is being made has been thought over again and again to find a proper resolution. The sign we are reading for is Virgo. Hey Virgo, how's it going? So you're making a big decision with regard to a situation. I feel as though it's not an easy decision to make. I feel like you don't really feel like you have all the information that's necessary to make that decision quite yet. However, I do feel like you are really motivated by the full moon to make a judgment call, to kind of set a certain opinion with regard to your current circumstances. So let's talk about astrologically why this full moon is special. First of all, the moon is happening in your 10th house of career and your public life. So this is what's being illuminated by the sun in Sagittarius in your 4th house of home, conjunct Jupiter, which is in Sagittarius, in home, and then Mercury retrograde, which is a little bit further away from the sun, but still impactful. So we'll talk about that in a moment. But the sun conjunct Jupiter only happens once a year, and so this conjunction just seems to coincide with the full moon, and that really gives it an extra air of luck and magic in your life. So I feel like around the home you will be finding some type of answer, and that will shed a light on your career and your public life. So I mentioned that there's a mystic rectangle. The mystic rectangle is off of the nodes. The south node is in Capricorn in your 5th house of passion, and the north node is in Cancer in your 11th house of friendship. And what the mystic rectangle here does is that it allows you to rethink things and to recalibrate which way to move forward. It looks like maybe a Sagittarius, Leo, or an Aries is considering different opinions or maybe different thoughts. This could be you in a very strong position, Virgo, trying to figure out and deliberate which way is the best way to move forward in a circumstance. I think possibly you have even made your decision up about a situation, but you just are not sure exactly how to make it implement it, how to make it work. Here are your cards. We have the Last Judgment again. The Judgment card is ruled by the sign of Pluto, or the planet of Pluto, and Pluto is here in Capricorn, very close to the 29 degrees of the south node. So we're really talking about romance, love, children, the things you feel passionate about. So I feel like this decision is really being motivated by what you feel passionate about, what you want. If you've checked out the December video, you will see that in December, Virgo is in some way really making strides to have a very happy month. It's a very kind of not necessarily unproductive, but your focus isn't work productivity so much as it is to have fun and to relax. So we have the 7 of Cups next, which is Venus in Scorpio, and Venus is about to move into Scorpio for December. And then we have the Chariot card, which coincides with the sign of Cancer right here in your 11th house, which is the focal point of your decision making for the next 16 months. So friendships are always going to be an aspect, a lens that you consider when making decisions for the next 16 months. That's up here in your 11th house. The next message is the Knight of Cups, a Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio, and then we have the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man, I think, is ruled by Neptune, but I always think of the Hanged Man as like kind of Saturn-like energy. The Hanged Man represents that you are tied to something. You are in some way attached to a set of circumstances that you have to see through to the end, and I feel like you have to wait patiently in order to figure out the perfect solution with a situation. And the next card is the 8 of Pentacles, so there is some kind of work that is available for you at this time. Again, deliberation, which is the 2 of Swords on the bottom of the deck. So it seems to me as though, Virgo, let's not hide the cards right here. So it seems as though a big decision is being made about your career or your public life, and I think you're deliberating about how to approach a situation, how to manage a situation. There's quite a bit of confusion with regard to circumstances. I feel like if you are waiting for somebody to offer you something, there may be delays with regard to that because there's a lot of smoke in the air. In fact, I think that you may be thinking that there's an offer coming to you from one direction, whereas in fact I think that a bigger offer and the right offer is actually coming straight at you when you are not necessarily paying attention, specifically when you are working. Now this offer that is going to come to you is going to be very, very positive. It's just a matter of time before people that are involved are going to figure out exactly how to in some way approach the situation, how to find the proper answer, and I feel there will be a resolution that comes to you. So this is encouraging you to work really hard through this, and I feel like that's a little bit of a contradiction to the December energy, but we're still in November when I'm reading this. So I feel like this is encouraging you to get your work done, because the resolution to matters is coming, and I feel as though it's going to be very much an elation. And so we have the Sun in Virgo here with the Eight of Pentacles, and so I feel like you will be spending quite a bit of work on getting your work done. I feel like you realize in this situation that there's too much confusion, there's too many things that are not necessarily too clear for you. You don't really know what to do about things yet. However, I feel like the general energy around the situation, the Last Judgment, the Chariot, even the King of Wands, in some way guarantees that there is very positive energy around you. It's just in the immediate moment things are not quite clear, which really resonates strongly with the mystic rectangle. It's like, wait until, I think the message is, wait until you can really figure things out. Wait until you can clearly see which direction to go. You don't have to make a decision quite yet. You can wait until it's a better time, or until the smoke sort of clears and you can see what's going on. You can see exactly what's happening around you and in what way. And I feel like you will find a great overcoming by just focusing on the details, by doing your work and knowing that a good resolution to the situation is coming in the short term. Here we go. So we have demonstrate love, find out what is important to people. Find out what is important to the people you love and act on it. So this is about being cognizant of what people need around you. And this is the moon in the 10th house, because the 10th house has a lot to do with your public status. It's not necessarily just work or career. So I feel like this is like, you want to demonstrate to other people what love represents to you. You want to communicate clearly the lessons you have learned. I mentioned Mercury retrograde in your 4th house of home and family. Wonderful time to talk to family members, to people around your home, with regard to things that have happened in the past. So if you really need to clear the air with someone, this is a time to do that. If you are clearing the air with someone, take a time to really consider it from all options. That's what the Hanged Man also represents. So try to think of the situation from a different angle. Maybe then you will find a more peaceful way of looking at it, or maybe you'll find a resolution that will make better sense for you. So I know that there's this feeling of being like unsure of what to decide or which direction to move forward with things. I know that there's this feeling of a lack of guarantee with matters at this time. But if you just focus on the concrete things that you have to do around you, then I feel like you will find a much better response than I think you're even anticipating. Okay, and I think that it's a matter of time before there's no more information that becomes available that helps you make a decision with regard to matters. So it's like touch the sky. And you're not the first person to get this card, and to me what this represents is that you should be daring at this time. The mystic rectangle, and especially with Jupiter conjunct the Sun, allows us for miracles. So try the energy again, try the thing that wasn't working before again. Maybe this time the full moon and this energy will bring in more clarity, and maybe this time around you will find a better way to do things. So you should definitely be trying whatever it is that you have been trying to sort out, maybe with another person or maybe in a relationship. But be patient with it, allow the smoke to clear, and I think that the outcome will be better than what you thought. Okay, thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful full moon. Check out your other Virgo videos down below in the Virgo playlist. Take care. Bye-bye. Guys, thanks for joining me and welcome to this reading for the full moon that happens in Gemini, 0 degrees Gemini on the 22nd of November to the 23rd. I'm excited. We'll read for this sign today. We'll find out in a moment what sign it is. And in the meantime, I'm going to pick some cards just to get the initial energy going. So we're going to take a look at the astrology, take a look at tarot. This full moon has a lot to do with miracles because the sun is conjunct Jupiter in Sagittarius and also very close to a Mercury as well in retrograde, which allows us to take a look back at previous conversations and see if we can renegotiate them in some way. The North Node and the South Node form something called a mystic rectangle in your chart. I'll show you guys that in a minute. Let's take a look at your tarot cards. So you have the Ace of Rods, and then we have the Lovers. So far the readings are showing up as very loving, and the Four of Wands. So it definitely looks like there is an offer that is being made, or there's some type of new beginning in terms of love in your life. The Lovers card is ruled by the sign of Gemini, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you are dealing with a Gemini. This can actually mean like somebody's reaching out to you from your family, or maybe a loving energy. These two cards together, actually all three cards can indicate that there is a marriage proposal or a relationship that is coming together in a more serious capacity, okay? Let's find out your card. So this is for Libra. Hi Libra, this is the adjustment card in the top deck. So Libra, I'm just going to get your astrology set up and then we'll see what's going on. So there's indication here, Libra, that you are either falling in love or you have just fallen in love, and there's great opportunities for you to kind of set up house. I was telling you guys to focus on this area in your South Node, North Node video, which is in the Libra playlist. But the Capricorn placements in your 4th house will lead to very quick things coming together in the way of love. For this full moon, we have the Sun and Jupiter in your 3rd house of communication, and they're creating a conjunction opposing the moon, which is right here in Gemini, in your 9th house. And together with the nodes, we have this mystic rectangle that allows us to try things again and again and again. And so what we see here is an opportunity to communicate with efficiency, with family, and with people who you love, people around your home, in order to draft a new way forward. The North Node is in your 10th house of career and public status, so you're talking a lot about who you are in the world, who your family is in the world, where you want to see things go. So a lot of these big picture kind of conversations are really happening for you at this time. Okay, so let's take a look at your tarot cards, Bianco Nero still again. Let's pick some cards just to clarify what's going on. So we see the 8 of Swords, unsure what to do with the situation, the High Priestess energy, and the Queen of Wands. So you might be speaking with a Sag, a Leo, or an Aries woman who will in some way give you advice that is very valuable to make a decision about your current love life or your current home situation. I feel like maybe this is a part of this coming together. Now the Queen of Wands could be a king as well, so this would be a Sag, Leo, or Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising. There's a lack of clarity in this situation as to how to decide. But when we have, the mystic rectangle in our chart, it really represents that we're going over and over a situation until we get it right. That's the part of this, that's the miracle. And Jupiter is only conjunct the Sun one time a year, and it's currently with this full moon. So this makes this full moon in your 9th house of ideas really powerful. That's why most likely you were exposed to a high priestess or someone who is giving you insight into your life, insight into your current situations. Let's take a look at your next cards. We have the 4 of Swords. We have the Temperance card, which is the card of Sagittarius, by the way. So that's where all this is happening with Jupiter and Mercury and the Sun. And then we have the Queen of Swords. So there's a very important conversation about moving forward with circumstances and things. This could be a Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra. Even though a situation isn't that clear on how to answer yet, how to deal with it, I think that the proper response, or the response that people will take, will be to rest and to wait until more information comes in. I feel as though an important conversation is happening between a fire sign and an air sign. And this important conversation is clarifying a situation. And the air sign in some way is indicating which direction things should go. So there's big deliberations onto how to solve circumstances, how to solve situations. Now this could be you, Libra, in some way clarifying matters for yourself. So there will be some time of rest, I suspect, around the full moon, and then there'll be another period in which maybe somebody asks like a tarot card reader, an astrologer, what their opinion is, or a guide, or maybe like someone in your family or someone in your surroundings who has strong opinions. They will be asked to clarify and for their intuitive response or their intuitive input. And then there's going to be a very important conversation deliberating on what is the proper way to go. At the bottom of the deck we have the Three of Pentacles, which is our work card, right? So what this represents is that we are fine-tuning something, fine-tuning a plan, or fine-tuning a course of action that we want to take with regard to the circumstances that have been going on. Let's take a look at your oracle cards, Libra, and we see here forgiveness. Nothing can be gained by holding on to past disappointments. So I feel like there is this call to action. Maybe there is a lot being offered here in the way of love, Libra, but it's taking but it's being suspended, or is being put on ice, because there is a situation that has to be forgiven. And I feel like this key conversation is a part of the forgiving process, because I think that the conversation is going to allow particularly the Queen of Wands, a Sagittarius or Aries, to voice her opinion and speak her mind about circumstances. The second oracle card is My Home is My Castle. So this could have been something that in some way really struck a chord close to your home. I have a sense that maybe there is a big decision to be made about a career venture or a direction that you are taking with your career, at the same time as you're negotiating your relationship with people around you, maybe even in your home, or maybe the direction you want to take your home and family circumstances in the future. So the primary decision you seem to be trying to work out and figure out is to exactly which way to take your career, which is signified here by the North Node in your 10th house of career. That's the compass point of your awareness for the next 16 months. So you will consistently for the next 16 months think about which direction you will be going, which direction you want to take things. And I think that that is going to be a part of your readings over and over again. So whether it's an interpersonal reading or whether it's a kind of reading for general life experiences, you will continue to face these questions. Work will always be a part of your life at this time, making decisions about work and which way to go. I feel like maybe there is this kind of decision that is looming in your life, and it's overshadowing the moon. The moon is here in Gemini in your 9th house. This decision is overshadowing the moon because I feel like in some way, look at if it's into the mystic rectangle, because I think that this big decision, this big life decision, is literally overshadowing everything else, and it has something to do with the home and family. And so there's some real good opportunities for you with regard to home and family at this time, but I think that you continually think, but what about my career? What about the direction things are going? And I think that the sun opposing the moon, which is the full moon actually with Jupiter conjunct the sun, is really giving you an opportunity to really think clearly and to draw a very clear perspective about which way to approach situations and which way to approach this matter. Communication is key. I know with Mercury retrograde, people get a little bit wary of communicating, but I think that especially if you're talking about things that have already been spoken about, to rehash the past, to understand where things are coming from, that recessional or that retrograde energy in Mercury will help to clarify the situation, will really help to readdress questions that you've had in the past. So this is kind of like a conversation that the Queen of Swords and the Queen of Wands is having with regard to a past situation, with regard to circumstances that have happened already, and they're just talking about it a second time through, as probably both are trying to figure out which way to move forward with things. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will talk with you soon. Take care, Libra. Bye. Hi guys, thanks for joining me and welcome to your reading for November. I'm excited to be here with you guys, and we're going to do your Lenormand spread. I want you guys to leave a like and a comment on the video, please. And yeah, okay, so let's see. This is the Dreaming Way Lenormand. So I prefer actually shuffling a little bit in between, so maybe we'll do that. So your first card is the birds. And so this kind of probably suggests that there's a fair bit of gossip that's going on around you this month. So be aware of the fact that there is some gossip. And then we have the fox. So that's a bad combination because the fox is always cunning and wise. And so if they hear the wrong thing at the wrong time, then they can use it to their advantage. The next message is the fish. And so I feel as though this can also be like a tip that you capitalize on. So you could be the fox and hear something and be like, oh, that's such a good idea. That's such a good suggestion. On the bottom, we have the Gemini card. So I feel like maybe something you hear brings you awareness about something that can lead you to a certain degree of success or give you insight into what you are doing. I feel like maybe there's a sense of caution though as well. You don't want to get too wrapped up into gossip, because I feel like you have some good things going on. We have the ring as the next card. Be very, very careful, Gemini. I know you guys are getting a lot of readings for love and readings for relationships, but it often happens that, you know, people get unsettled when people get engaged, when they're happy and all of that. So the chit chatter starts and the drama starts with that as well. You have the heart in the center. Hey girl, hey, I don't want to shuffle this because you're getting good cards. So I feel like maybe it's a real understanding of what is leading you in a good direction. Maybe it's a real understanding of what's going to bring you comfort and security and happiness in the direction that you want to go. Or maybe somebody's thinking about forming a relationship with you, asking you to marry them, and you catch wind of that through gossip. So it might be kind of like a spoiler week for you guys. The next message is the snake. So be careful. Again, warning, warning, warning. Warning of a treachery, especially in and around your workplace or anywhere that you are public. So it can be volunteering, school, those kinds of things. And it's not like, when I say treachery, that sounds so dramatic, but it's actually not. It's just a little bit of, how do you say? It's just a little bit of, you know, people just being people. And I think that there is an offer of commitment with a woman at this time, and people coming together and forming a relationship. The next message is the letter. So I feel as though you will be hearing a letter. Somebody's reaching out to you about commitment issues. Remember, Mercury is retrograde in Sagittarius this month. From the mid-month, Venus is retrograde from the beginning to the mid-month in Libra. So I feel like communication can feel pressing. Venus retrograde, you really want to talk to someone, but then also at the same time, Mercury retrograde can really make very important conversations, especially very kind of difficult to not misunderstand things. So if it's a creative communication in which it's no one's life depends on it, then Mercury's really great in retrograde. But if it's business, if it's work, if it's like final decisions about a relationship, no, not the time to do it, especially on the heels of Venus retrograde. And so I feel as though, let's see, we have the moon as the next message. I think somebody feels like they are on the right path. They feel as though this fox right here, they feel like they're on the right path, and they feel like they have all this energy behind them that nobody or nothing can take them away from the things that are happening for them. And that's a really good attitude to take, but you should definitely not, if this is you, you should definitely not take the attitude of carelessness. So don't think that you're so untouchable, you know, because ultimately things can creep up on you and cause you disarray. The next message is the coffin, right? See, there you go. The snake on the fox is a weird combination, right? Because there's this heart between them. That's real betrayal possible here, but you know already in your heart if that's the case. And I feel like there's some kind of ending to a situation with someone who is a little bit they're a snake. And it's, you know, the snake can be, it's in the Lenormand, it describes a woman, but it's not in the same way as like the snake emoji and stuff. But, and I don't really like the association, but it could be the end of a relationship in a public life with a woman, or maybe the end to something. Even though there was good feelings involved, I feel like it's being transformed. A commitment is being managed in a certain direction. But overall, I think that these are necessary steps that have to happen to some of these things. There's necessary steps that have to happen to certain feelings and emotions so that they can reconcile and be put to rest, because there's too many cooks in the kitchen here. There's too many people getting involved, and that's confusing the situation. On the bottom, we have the house. And so what the house represents is home, family, the house, a house environment. I feel like maybe love is going to put an end to some kind of gossip that you don't want to have around. Like end by clarifying a situation. I feel as though there is a real kind of end to a situation that may have been insidious below the surface. You didn't recognize it for what it is. And I think that you're going to really clamp down on that. I don't think it's going to fundamentally destroy any relationship, what's happening in November, but honestly, it seems as though things are creeping up that are in some way uncomfortable to deal with, and they have been pushed to the side. And I think in November they are coming out front and center, and you're putting an end to things. You're really kind of you're going to take the necessary steps in order to clarify things within your own life. Now, this does not go beyond your own situation. This is you not calling back a friend because you realize that maybe she wants to get in on your business and you feel kind of weird about that. You know, like she just wants you to put her on, and maybe you're just like, I don't know about this, you know. She may have like a way to like run her mouth also, so maybe that's the case. Or possibly, you know, some gossip and you're just really putting an end and separating yourself from anything negative. So even though the coffin's here, it's not necessarily a bad reading. I just think that you're going to put your foot down. So that's okay. That's all right, in a friendly way. There's so much love that I talked to you guys about in the YouTube video and the Vimeo reading that's linked down below, that I think that this is just a little clarity for November. So I hope it helps. Have a nice day. Take care. Bye-bye. Hi guys, thanks for joining me and welcome to your reading for Venus retrograde. I have 4 left, so I'm going to do this one. If you have watched any of the other videos, I'm not looking at the sign that I'm reading for the first part of the reading. So we're just going to take a look and see if there is what's going on without any kind of influence from knowledge of the sign or whatever. So just like a real kind of blank slate. So we have the Six of Pentacles. This is the Dame Darcy Tarot. And the Six of Swords. Ooh. And the Knight of Wands. So okay, so somebody is looking for work. Somebody is going somewhere looking for work. They're trying to decide which way to go. And I think that maybe somebody is either coming back from a difficult situation or leaving a difficult situation. I think you have a lot to offer, and it looks like maybe somebody's coming back, or you're coming together with someone after a period of some kind of volatility. Let's take a look at your Angel Oracle card. You have the message of courage. So I wonder if somebody's contacting you and saying, hey, wanna connect, wanna reconnect. Remember, Venus retrograde is all about reconnection and kind of working things out, finding closure to situations. All of that kind of energy is there. I'm going to do the whole spread on Vimeo. That's a 9-card spread, and that will be available in your Vimeo spread. It's really a small reading, so it's not really worth a rental on its own unless you want to get it. But if you've gotten the October video, it's in that package, so you guys can go check that out. It's a little bonus to everybody who's supporting me in the channel. Thank you so much, and I really appreciate it. Also, if you are new to the channel, hi, how are you? I'm Varouche, nice to meet you. Please click on the bell because you don't actually get notified when I post videos. So when you subscribe to my channel, that bell doesn't turn on, and you need those 2 little lines over the bell to get notifications from me. And I do lots of live shows. They're a lot of fun. We have fun people around, so I would recommend trying that. Okay, so let's find out. I'm curious. What sign is this? Libra. Okay. Interesting, Libra. So I think as there could be a financial potential for you in terms of work that is making you leave or change, or somebody else is coming in because of financial changes, financial opportunities that are coming up for them. Circumstances financially have changed for somebody, and I'm just setting up your chart. Circumstances have changed financially for someone, and so they're either coming or going out of the situation. So this retrograde period is most important for Libra and Scorpio in a certain sense, because it happens in your sign, and it's the 5th time in 8 years that Venus completes this cycle. 8 years ago in 2010, she was doing the same kind of transit through Scorpio and Libra at the same time, between 8th of October and 18th of November. This year it's the 6th of October, the 5th of October, and the 16th of November. So it's a very similar time frame. Anyway, so the point is that in October we're really focusing on money. So this is really on point for you. In terms of like the money house, Venus may reintroduce you to old business partners, people who you have connected with as business associates, and in a certain way, like make you reconnect with them, have second opportunities, or find closure to financial matters. And then when she moves into the 1st house, that's going to be a big kind of showstopper. It's gonna really say, what are you doing, Libra? Are you ready to make a sudden drastic change in your life? Is the direction that you're going the exact direction that you want to go? Are you screwing up? Are you doing okay? Like, kind of, it's a touching base kind of transit, okay? And especially with regard to relationships. Okay, so let's do the heart-shaped spread for Libra. And I'm using the Lucy Cavendish Oracle Tarot, which I just love. Love, love, love it so much. Let's take a look at your first card. So your first card is nervous about change. Okay, so it's the 4 of Cups. Sorry, these cards do get translucent. That's why you don't see them more on the channel, because they're so colorful. They just mess up my screen. But 4 of Cups, an offer is made. I think that you might hear from someone who you haven't heard from in a while. And I feel as though this person is coming into the picture very quickly. These cards don't have court cards in them, so maybe it's a Sag, a Leo, or an Aries, Sun, Moon, or Rising. But I feel like an offer is on the table, although I don't know how open you are at this time. I think you're really focused on kind of heart-centered stuff, basically what is going on for you and how are you progressing in your life. Okay, your ideals in a relationship, let's confirm that here. The Four of Wands, you're looking for a stable and happy home and family, and I think that you realize that you have to make adjustments within yourself in order to achieve that. Like, you really need to attain balance within your financial matters as well as your personality in order to be able to achieve the healthy and happy home dynamic that you need. You're really leaving bad situations behind, moving towards better circumstances. The next card is tradition. Ooh, Libra is looking to get married. This is the Hierophant card. It also represents Taurus. I think you're looking for people to be in a community with, people you can really connect with and vibe with, understand, find love and trust together with them in some way. So I think that you're looking for like a serious dynamic, maybe marriage, but maybe it has to do with social matters such as knowing people or being close with others. Okay, here is your next message. We have the Magician, and so the Magician represents the kind of energy that is around you now in terms of love, the love relationships that are available to you now, your love interest, or maybe even possibly the kind of energy that the universe is bringing into your life at this time. So I think this is an enabling energy, an energy that really wants you to achieve the things that you want. And I feel like there is going to be outright effort in order to help you get what you want. So if you're not so sure about this first offer, we'll see how it progresses, the reading I mean, but I feel as though there will be more to come and they will get incrementally better and better. So you might be in a position to make some choices. You might be in a position to not make some choices, but rather, you might be in a position to call the shots and just say, I want this or that in a situation. So it might be working out for you for the best, actually. Here is the second card. You have the Star. So your partner is looking for their soulmate. They're looking for you. And also they're looking for serendipity. They're looking for the perfect interconnection of events leading to a positive outcome in a good direction. I feel like there is a huge positive influence on you at this time, and I feel like your goals sort of seem to match up. No, it looks kind of similar, but let's see what this is all about, because the Six of Swords is making me wonder, like, who's leaving who and why. That's what I'm wondering when I'm looking at that. So I think we'll explain that in the next couple cards. So at the first, I think both people have good intentions. How about we'll leave it at that for now. But I'm also wondering why the Four of Cups, because the Four of Cups is an offer, but it's also sometimes meant to represent boredom or dissatisfaction or settling. So I don't feel like your first three cards are about settling at all. I think they're all about like taking the bull by the horns and moving forward in a direction that you want. So let's take a look at the next card. We have the Fool card. So this is your next step. So Libra's on a new journey. I checked Virgo already, and yeah, they're on a new journey. So Libra, Virgo, starting something new, check. Getting ready for a new path. And the person that you are dealing with has the Three of Cups. So in some way they're celebrating. Maybe this is a relationship that is coming together, and very quickly, very quickly coming together. I think that if you are coming together, then you are on the same page. You kind of see where the other one is coming from, and there's like an intrinsic understanding between the two of you. The next message is the Two of Pentacles. Sorry about the card being so translucent, but can't do anything about that. So the first advice for you is to go slow, Libra. Rome wasn't built in a day. You just need to in some way honor the energies that are around you now and allow them to really come through for you in a positive manner, in a positive way, okay? So I feel like you are going for something good, but you want to really figure out how it's going to work and who the people involved are and how things are going to happen for you. I think that if you take it one step at a time, things will work out in the best possible way. Also, the Two of Pentacles sometimes signals that there will be some setbacks, so don't let minor setbacks get you down or get you discouraged. Chiron is now moved into, I don't know if I can show you. Chiron, yes I can. Chiron has now moved into your 6th house of daily activities. So there may be a lot of effort that you have to exert into your day-to-day life in order to keep up pace with everything, okay? The next message is we have the steady progress. It's the Four of Coins. And so I feel like don't throw it all away. Don't throw all your money at a situation. Don't waste everything, because you may need it for where you are going, and I don't feel like you fully understand where you are going yet. I don't think that you fully understand what the outcome of the situations will be. The next message is the Lovers. And so what this represents is that the person who you're dealing with is like 100% set on bringing love into your life. They're ready for a serious relationship. Their heart is open. They could be a Gemini, an Aquarius, possibly. But I feel like they're really putting their love on the line, and they're kind of exerting kindness and consideration. The next message is the Two of Cups. Look at Libra. You've got somebody just in love with you. So I feel like you're excited about this opportunity, and I think that this is like your knight in shining armor for sure. This is the Two of Cups, right? I think that the person who you're dealing with, or what the universe is giving to you, is positivity and hope. And let me just say happy birthday to all the Libras that are in October, born in October and September. I suppose you guys will see this by the time Libra season starts. I hope you guys are having nice birthdays. I just realized that. Look at this birthday present, hey? You've got it on a silver platter. The outcome is, look at this, 6 of Cups, the soulmate card. Boom, there you go, connection. And I feel like there is like this wonderful connection between you and someone else. I think that you are somewhat not weary, but somewhat tentative towards this energy. And that's okay. You have a right to take your time to understand what it's all about, what it means, and how it's going to work for you. I think that good things are being brought into your life, and I think that there will be a wonderful outcome because of this. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a nice day. Just as a reminder, I'm putting the rest of the reading on Vimeo in the October bonus only, okay? Have a wonderful Venus retrograde. Thank you so much, Libra. Take care. Bye-bye.